Named after the little town of Van Reenen, which seems to stand guard at the top of this majestic pass, which winds its way through the Drakensberg Mountains between Ladysmith and Harrismith, along the N3 between Durban and Johannesburg. Unfortunately, the only record that the pass can lay claim to is that it is statistically the most dangerous pass in South Africa. Despite this, the long pass provides beautiful scenery as it descends towards Ladysmith in the KZN Midlands from the Free State. Despite its apparently benign appearance in good weather, this is an extremely dangerous pass, and a speed limit of 80 km per hour is applied over the majority of the pass for very good reason. There are a number of permanent speed cameras located at intervals along the road, and an average speed restriction is also in place. In severe weather, such as when heavy snowfalls occur or when there's a major accident on the pass, it's often closed. Traffic volumes are extremely high at all times, with most of the problems being caused by slow-moving heavy-duty vehicles in both the up and down directions. Exercise extreme caution and stick to the speed limits. We filmed this pass from west to east. The pass begins with a gradual descent through the town of Van Reenen just as you cross the provincial border from the Free State into KZN. The road follows a shallow S-bend through the village, then begins a long sweeping right-hand bend through 90 degrees, taking you into a southwesterly heading. This is immediately followed by another S-bend, first turning left and then right, as the descent gradient increases quite sharply and the road passes through an area lined by tall trees. Baboons are common here and often cross the road, so be on the lookout for them. The road straightens up for a few hundred meters, then makes a long gradual left-hand turn through 90 degrees back towards the east. This section of the pass is very exposed and is often quite windy, so be aware of this if you're driving a high-profile vehicle. The descent now begins in earnest as the road winds its way through a series of gentle bends. The views on both sides of the road are quite spectacular, and if you look carefully, you can see the railroad in the distance on the left-hand side, following a gentler contour down the mountain over some carefully constructed bridges. As you approach the midway point of the pass, a motel with some unusual-looking A-frame chalets appears on your right-hand side, and there's a runoff area to your left. The road flattens out for a while through this section, then sweeps to the right and the descent begins again. The often wet, misty weather conditions have given this Anglo-Boer era pass the reputation of being perilously slippery with decreased visibility. The lookout point Windy Corner offers breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains and the Anglo-Boer War battlefields route beyond. From this vantage point, one can still see the lines of the old road. Another must-visit Van Reenen spot is the Llandaff Oratory, a quaint little chapel built by a father in tribute to his son and reputed worldwide to be the smallest Roman Catholic church ever built. Van Reenen is a spectacular tourist region, one of those unknown gems that you seldom discover, and when you do, you say to yourself, that was the highlight of my trip. Van Reenen offers gracious splendor to rural simplicity with many varied and interesting historical places. Van Reenen and the pass have always been associated with transport. First, it was a migratory route for hordes of animals migrating from the Free State to KwaZulu-Natal in winter and back again in the summer. Frans van Reenen, after whom the pass is named, farmed at the base of the pass and tracked his oxen inland using the paths worn by the migrating animals. In the mid-1800s, he assisted the transport riders with laying out a route for the wagons carrying supplies to the gold mines. The road now curves through a very long turn to the left into a northeasterly heading, passing through an area with a grove of beautiful umbrella thorn trees. This is followed by a long bend to the right, a short flat section, and then a shallow S-bend. Note this passenger bus, which passes our camera vehicle at this point at a speed considerably greater than the allowed limit. Another 90-degree turn to the left is encountered as the road enters the last section of the pass, then it straightens up for about 1 kilometer, still descending quite sharply. The final corner is a long gradual curve to the right, and the pass bottoms out and reaches its endpoint at the Sand River Valley intersection and the Zandfontein Potstal, which is on the right-hand side. If you intend stopping here, make sure that there's no fast-moving traffic behind you before you turn off. There are alternative and very scenic routes that you can take to avoid Van Reenen's Pass, although some of these do involve some gravel travel. De Beers Pass lies to the north, and the Tintwer Middeldale Passes and the Olivius Hoek Pass, which is tarred, are located on the southern side.